Like most members of Gen Z, I learned everything that I know from watching TV. From the ABCs to potty training, all the way to what a realistic apartment in New York City looks like. Additionally, TV and film has provided us with lessons in social skills, such as how to be a good friend, how to own up to your mistakes, and much more. Perhaps the most important lessons we've gathered from the media are lessons on romance and relationships. Hi, I'm Sienna. Welcome to my channel. As I'm sure you know, Gen Z is infamous for its expertise on romance and healthy relationships. Today, I wanted to look at some of the most influential lessons we've learned from movies and TV that have made Gen Z, as well as many other generations, some of the most romantic people to have ever lived. In case you have any quandaries about my credentials, I'm happy to inform you that I really am an expert in this subject. In 2018, I watched literally every romance film on Netflix that they had to offer at the time. I had nothing better to do, apparently. And unfortunately, I really do have several degrees in the subject. I have to prove this. I'm serious. Look, I have all my degrees. I have 3. This is the big one on film. Scooch back in here. Alright. So, you are without a doubt in good hands. And yes, Valentine's Day was last week, but as I'm sure we'll learn, it's the thought that counts. Let's get started. Be with the person you've known the longest. We've seen this dozens of times, so I'm sure you already know. The longer that you've been with someone, the better the relationship. It's been proven over and over that the best relationships start early. That's why everyone you know who got married right out of high school is still happily married. Take Marshall and Lily from How I Met Your Mother. They met on day 1 of college and have been together ever since. They've never had a single problem or falling out. That's because the longer you're with someone, the stronger your bond grows. They've been putting up with you this long, they're not gonna leave you now. Need more proof? Ross and Rachel from Friends. They've known each other since high school. Perfect match. I'm sure everyone would agree with that. Whenever a romance story creates a scenario where the main character has to choose between 2 love interests, who does she always choose? The one she met first. Sweet Home Alabama. Melanie is engaged to a rich, successful man who supports her career and would do anything for her. What does she choose instead? Her redneck ex-husband. Why? She met him first. Bridget Jones's Baby. Bridget gets knocked up either by a rich, handsome, health-focused, and romantic American man, or by her cold, distant lawyer ex-boyfriend. Unsure which man is truly the baby's father, which man does Bridget eventually choose to marry? The lawyer, of course. They've known each other since they were 3. So, if you're ever in doubt as to whether you should marry the hot new hunk in town or the drug dealer that you lost your virginity to, I think the answer is pretty obvious. Opposites attract. When looking for a new relationship candidate, it's extremely important to find someone that you have absolutely nothing in common with. This guarantees that you will always have something to talk about. If you're a Luciferian Satanist and he's a devout evangelical Mormon, you'll never run out of things to talk about. You can always discuss why he's wrong and you're right. If you had something in common, like, I don't know, reading, what's there to talk about? Books? You both already know what happens in the story. What's left to talk about? Great example. Ron and Hermione from Harry Potter. I know that's not a romance, but these two spend the entire 7-book, 8-movie series bickering. Ron is a simple and unattractive dimwit, and Hermione is a clever and beautiful scholar. So of course they get along. Every time Ron gets into trouble or needs help passing an exam, Hermione is there to help. And every time Hermione feels neglected or doubts herself, Ron is sure to let her know that he finds her undesirable.
It's one thing for a bloke to shop alone. For a girl, it's just sad.
I won't be going alone because, believe it or not, someone's asked me.
Back to Bridget Jones, another great example of opposites attract. Her main love interest, Mark Darcy, is a high-strung, well-mannered, but cold and distant lawyer who prioritizes work over romance. Bridget is an awkward yet clever broadcasting technician who desires to be loved over anything else. So of course, the two get together, break up, get back together, break up, get married, have children, and live a long, happy life of 10 years until Mark explodes. Build your relationship based on a foundation of lies. All the best relationships are built on big, fat lies. You may think that trust would be more important, but it's actually the lies that keep things interesting. Don't believe me? Here are just a few films with happy relationships that begin with lies. Sweet Home Alabama, lies about her past. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, both lie about their intentions. The Proposal, fake relationship. Crazy Rich Asians, lies about his background. French Kiss, lies about his intentions. Bridget Jones, lies about her pregnancy. 50 First Dates, deceives a mentally handicapped person. Pretty Woman, pretends she's not a prostitute. She's the Man, pretends to be a man. Easy A, pretends she's a slut. Shallow Hal, pretends he's not disgusted by her. 10 Things I Hate About You, pretends to date her so he can date her sister. Must I go on? Obviously, all these films feature happy endings where the couples get together, so why wouldn't you want to start your relationship off with a lie? Cheating is okay, as long as the ex is mean or ugly. Cheating is a natural part of life and should be expected in most relationships. In fact, most of the best relationships start off as a cheating scandal, or in many cases, cheating can enhance an already prosperous relationship. Carrie and Mr. Big from Sex and the City are a perfect example of this. Not only does Big cheat on his wife Natasha with Carrie, but Carrie cheats on her boyfriend and later fiance Aiden. But don't worry, it's okay because Natasha was a total bitch. She was pretty, younger than Carrie, had a job in fashion, and wore a lot of white. Ew. And Aiden, well, he bought Carrie an apartment, got her to stop smoking, and made her feel safe. But she had to see a squirrel because of him, so fuck that guy.
Oh, God! Oh! What is it? Oh, God! What happened? You okay?
No.
Also from Sex and the City, Steve cheats on Miranda. Steve is a bartender who fully depends on Miranda, but one day he got sad and bored, so he cheats on her. But again, don't worry, because he feels super bad about it. And Miranda's friends convince her that she does work too much to support her family and that she should take him back. So she does. And they live happily ever after.
You never wanted me. And you never even wanted Brady!
Perhaps one of the most popular couples in television history, Jim and Pam from The Office. They also began their relationship with cheating. Not only did the two engage in an emotional affair for years, but Pam eventually gets physical with Jim behind her fiance's back. The two eventually get married and live happily ever after. Do you want to know how many weddings I've worked at or have been invited to where the couple said, "We're just like Jim and Pam"? All of them. Every couple says that. You're not special. You are not Jim and Pam. Who wants to be Jim and Pam? Give up on your dreams and don't ever change.
夢を諦めて死んでくれ。
In nearly every romantic scenario showcased on screen, one member of the couple has to give up on their dream or way of life in order to make room for their relationship. This is because love is the most wonderful thing in the world and nothing else matters once you find it. Careers, family, interests, responsibilities, those can all be pushed aside once you find the right person. Sweet Home Alabama. Melanie leaves her home in New York City where she has a successful fashion line to be with her redneck boyfriend who collects lightning. Sex and the City. Carrie leaves her job and friends in New York City to be with Alexander in Paris. How I Met Your Mother. Ted is willing to quit his job and give up his dreams of having children to be with Robin. Barney quits his job to be with Robin. Lily puts off being an artist to support Marshall and have kids. Marshall gives up being a judge to move to Italy with Lily. Crazy Rich Asians. Rachel has a fancy job as a professor, and we never hear about it again once she goes to Singapore. French Kiss. All Kate wants is to have a nice home and be a teacher in Canada, but once she meets Luke, she stays in France to support his goal of owning a vineyard. Twilight. Bella gives up being human. Clearly, there are many examples of couples changing their way of life to be together, but it's also important to remember that once you enter a relationship, to never grow or change as a person. How many times have we heard in a romance film, "Where's the person I fell in love with?" Andy and Nate from The Devil Wears Prada are a perfect example of this. When Andy gets a new job at Runway, a position highly sought after and would greatly enhance her career, Andy promises that she won't let the job change her. However, after some turmoil, she realizes she'll have to make the best of things. As time passes, she grows to appreciate fashion, she enjoys the work, she begins doing very well and becomes a reliable employee. This enrages Andy's friends and her boyfriend. How dare she do well at work and start to appreciate fashion? She's always hated fashion. How can she suddenly like it now? And as we all know, developing new interests is toxic to a healthy relationship. So Nate dumps Andy, rightfully so. After all, she was late to his birthday. Andy eventually makes the right decision and quits her job so that she can go back to being an unfashionable slob and make her boyfriend happy. So, with that, you should have all that you need to foster a long, happy, and successful relationship. Go out, find that boy you met on the playground when you were 5, convince him to cheat on his fiancée, and tell him all your family is dead so that you can surprise him later when they show up to the wedding. And don't forget to quit your job and sell your things before you go. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm done now.